Check out the story we got from The Hollywood Reporter. Netflix fires employee for leaking confidential information on Chappelle's special. The employee leaked financial data to Bloomberg, which reported in October 13th article that Netflix spent $24.1 million on Dave Chappelle's The Closer. Woo! Not only is Dave Chappelle smacking down wokeness and just speaking his mind, he's getting paid that kind of money to do it?
Nice.
Wow, man.
That was half of what he walked away from Comedy Central for. So he's made it back, I'm guessing. And good for Dave.
Yeah.
Well, he also said he's not going to speak about this again. He says it's over. I'm not going to be doing specials. I'm done.
I got to say, watching the special, it feels like they got him. Dave Chappelle was like, I can't do this anymore. He said, I'm not going to make these jokes anymore because if they don't get it, I don't know, I can't do it. Dave Chappelle gave in.
That's too bad because he's a cultural force and he can change people's minds.
He did it before he walked away from the Chappelle show. Just went to Africa for a while.
Checked out.
He does what he wants.
Yeah, I think it was because I think his story was that when he did the Chappelle show, he did a sketch that was critical of racism, but the people, like he talked to someone who didn't know that's what it was, and it kind of got him mad. That he was like, is that what you think I'm trying to say? I remember reading a story about that. I don't know, maybe it's been a long time and I'm getting the story wrong, but something like that. Here's what I think is really crazy. Netflix says we are on the right side of history in row on internal message board over the comedian's jokes. That to me is the crazy thing. He says, quote, a spokesperson said, we let go of an employee for sharing confidential, commercially sensitive information outside the company. We understand this employee may have been motivated by disappointment and hurt with Netflix, but maintaining a culture of trust and transparency is core to our company. The longtime employee was fired because they leaked that information. But to say that they're on the right side of history, I do believe that our commitment to artistic expression and pleasing our members is the right long-term choice for Netflix, and that we are on the right side, but only time will tell. Is what he said. Apparently, what they said to the New York Times.
This is what you get when you let this stuff go on for too long, and now it's biting them in the ass. So good, and that part of it, I'm extremely happy about to see them suffer these consequences.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, maybe not supporting them is still the right move.
Maybe.
I don't support centralized entertainment networks like this. I think you need a decentralized network that's going to propagate the art, because anytime you have a gatekeeper, you're going to have people saying yes or no, and that's the problem. It's not that they said no. It's giving someone the ability to say yes or no and get super rich off it.
Well, on that note, there are a lot of different options that you have. You can let the free market decide where you're going to spend your entertainment dollars. I use Hulu. That's my choice. I don't know if you completely agree with them or whatever, but you can use Disney Plus, you can use Hulu, you can use like DirecTV and Amazon.
So awful. They're all so awful.
Oh, I know. They're all bad in different ways.
Hulu did that tweet where they were like, remember a couple years ago, don't wear Halloween costumes that are insensitive. And I'm like, why is my online streaming platform telling you what to wear?
Because you get a central authority that builds up billions of followers, and then they sell the company to some idiot that gets the Twitter account of 40 million people and can tell you to do stupid stuff.
And now most of these platforms are filled with ads. You're paying a premium just for a specific channel, and now Amazon, Hulu, all of them are like Paramount. They're all playing ads before you get to watch the content that you paid for. Like, it's just another slap in the face to the consumer.
And that's probably why they're not doing that well, and they're going to all have to. One of them is probably going to get bought up by like Paramount. It might be for sale by Apple sometimes, and they're way too late in the ad game. But the reason, I think Netflix is way too powerful, and they're a $1 billion corporation that does make way. They were. This is a rumor, okay, but they were thinking about going into content creation like YouTube. They thought about it seriously 3 years ago. Ditched out of it.
Really?
Yeah, they were too far behind.
Right.
But their infrastructure, I had a good friend who worked with them in the early days. That infrastructure, they worked on that for years. So they are light years ahead of any other streaming service for a long time. They have patents on certain menus. That's why you're on Disney Plus, you're on Paramount Plus, and you're like, why is this menu set? Well, they own half of it, most of the menus and stuff. They own the patents on that, so they can't go.
Remember, wasn't Amazon going to do a YouTube thing a few years back? Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, they're doing some kind of live streaming thing now, which
Twitch?
is weird. No, on Amazon, on the website. They're doing weird. Like, here, watch this live stream, which is like usually someone trying to, sell products.
That's pretty weird.
No. Amazon Live. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Is this the right side of history is the question.
I don't think so. Centralized authorities we're not going to look back on having a gatekeeper as the right side. I guess
I looked at it like freedom of expression, not centralized authority.
So I suspect what's happening with Netflix is that they're looking at Twitter and they're looking at their marketing data and they're like, okay, Twitter is really not real life. And what's going to be best for us is actually having diverse viewpoints and diverse opinions, whether everyone agrees with stuff like Cuties or whether everyone agrees with stuff like Dave Chappelle or not, which I think is probably smart and will do them well in the long term.
You know, the challenge is, this is where our culture's at. I mean, you've got Dave Chappelle, the closer on Netflix. It's a point of conversation. People group around it. And that means people have to get a subscription to be able to watch it or, borrow a friend's. But for the most part, it means more subscriptions. And that's exactly what Netflix wants. Then they'll probably just keep doing the same controversial stuff back and forth, generate more controversy, which is good for their business no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I like Dave Chappelle. I'm going to side with Dave Chappelle and not Netflix. And I think the only reason Netflix is supporting Dave Chappelle is because they gave him $24 million. And it's just they're weighing out like what, because if they pull that special, that they're just weighing what the backlash is going to be, what's going to be worse. And they're
they're publicly traded too, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Imagine explaining to your shareholders why we dumped $24 million in Dave Chappelle only to pull it within like a week or something. Or it's been a little bit longer than that, but still.
Having 1,000, I think if 1,000 employees do walk out, that might make a difference. I mean, there's a lot of people there. I don't know if that is actually going to happen. I mean, that sounds like a plan.
I mean, who's saying that? Like, where's the claim coming from? There's going to be 1,000 people coming out on protest. I mean, maybe
insiders.
I mean, that just seems extremely optimistic. You could never ask protesters how many people are at a protest because they're always going to exaggerate the number, and it's just ridiculous to think that's going to happen. But have any of these people watched the show? Because I think if they do, they would get a sense of understanding.
It's not about that though.
I know, of course, it's not.
You go to these people and you're like, "Here's the video clip of what he actually said," and they're going to be like, "You're a bigot."
Yeah,
and it's like, okay.
Netflix net worth is $280 billion.
Whoa, really?
As of October 14, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Whoa, look how that has shot up in the last year.
Yeah, because people got to watch something.
Everybody's
from like
at home,
180 to 200.
I guess here's the question. Do you think that we're going to see more companies try and embrace anti-woke stuff? Because look at what Bill Maher said. Bill Maher said for the first time he's playing to a mixed audience. He said people are hungry for critiques of the woke left. It's like, late to the party, Bill, but I get it.
He's way late to that party. People are starving for stuff like that, but I don't think they're going to go to broadcast entertainment for it. I think they're finding it right here and on YouTube
Daily
with other
Wire,
people.
yeah.
And I think they are way late. I would like to see the establishment turn it around. I just have very little faith. They need a lot of failures, which they haven't had. They've been able to either hide them, or who knows what's true anymore. Like they're starting to hide TV failures now. They're not giving. They don't have to give out numbers for streaming services.
You know what I don't believe? I don't believe anyone liked Kimmy Schmidt.
I don't either.
I do.
Did you watch it?
I watched it.
You liked it.
I liked it.
Lies. I'm such a big fan of 30
agree.
Rock.
I will tell you why I liked Kimmy Schmidt, because she was trapped underground in a bunker, and as someone who was homeschooled and isolated from the rest of the world for my entire upbringing, that really resonated with me. So I don't know if it
You're
made
the
me
one.
feel
That made the
bad.
jokes funny, I guess.
Oh, I liked it.
So this
is cute.
Look, I watch, I just binged 30 Rock again because I periodically will watch 30 Rock because it's amazing. And I just laugh nonstop. It's brutally hilarious. And then I'm like, I finished it and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch Kimmy Schmidt. I tried to watch it before. I got to watch it because it's Tina Fey. It's a very similar style of humor. And then I'm 2 episodes in with my eyes just like half closed, like not a single laugh, maybe a chuckle, like, eh. And then I was like, I look at the ratings on Rotten Tomatoes and it's like award-winning #1. And I'm like, dude, I understand how the media lies because I pay attention to politics. I'm looking at these shows and I'm like, I really don't believe people are that into this show. And it only got, I think, 4 seasons, which says to me it was doing bad. People didn't like it. The media lies to try and make money, and then ultimately they cancel it because people weren't watching. That's my opinion. I don't know. Jack Murphy said he liked it. Maybe that's just me then.
I don't think you're ever going to get truly anti-woke, sustainable anti-woke or like edgy stuff out of corporate media ever. I mean, you already have broadcast things. You can't say the F word. You can't talk about this. I can't joke about this on this show. So it's really not it's not like a comedy show where I can be free.
There's always
and corporations
limits.
can be sold to some idiots. So you need a decentralized way for the comedy to thrive, I think.
There are always limits, right? People need to understand this too. This is what gets lost in the free speech debate. You can't go on Tucker Carlson's show and say a lot things. They'd ban you. I think Jesse Kelly was he the one who got?
Well, it's not.
Or was it Michael Knowles?
It's not
Yeah.
Tucker.
No,
it's CNN or it's Fox. Yeah. If you
Right,
go
right,
on
right.
Tucker's show with him that owns the network and owns the ISP, they'll let you do whatever you want.
But it's about look. The reason we don't swear on this show is not because YouTube's going to ban us for doing it. Tons of people swear. It's because we've gotten emails from people being like, "Hey, my kids are with me when the show's on. You know, would you guys mind keeping the swears down?" And I'm like, we don't lose anything by not swearing. And there are kids who are watching, and we really want younger people to like hear the message and be with their parents. I'm like, that makes sense to me. So we ask people like, don't swear, but if you do, we're not going to cry about it or anything.
Choice.
Yeah, so like the same thing is true for a lot of shows that will be like, hey, we have our limits on what we're willing to.
But like
what
in
buttons we're willing to
2008, you could swear, and it was almost like the kids loved it. And that was when Larry and Sergey owned the company, and then they sold it.
I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about we got an email. We get emails periodically from back when we used to swear a lot more, and they'd be like, "Hey man, big fans of the show. I was watching last night with my husband and my kids."
But I'm a Puritan.
And they were like, "I just when you guys start swearing a lot, we like don't want our kids to hear that kind of language." And then we're like, "All right, I understand. We want to give proper values and manners to children." And we can do this show, and we can be something like that people can listen to sometimes, because we do get spicy stories when their kids are around. I respect that, I do, and so we're like, try not to swear. If you swear, it happens. We're not going to cry about it.
I had a couple of those emails too. I remember calling Bill Gates a special name I can't name here,
Sure.
and then I get an email saying that one of the viewers' toddlers was just repeating it, running around, saying it around everywhere, and they're like, "Thanks."
Here's my favorite.
He's like, "I'm not gonna," and then people were like, "I'm not just gonna watch your show. I can't watch your show because of this." So I understand that. That's why family-friendly show on my show as well.
Yeah, as long as we're getting the ideas across and we're able to talk about important subjects, I got no problem with being, okay, we won't swear. My favorite was when we were talking about a group of people that are all in a big circle together.
Yes.
And they're all patting each other on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Complimenting each other for being jerks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a circle of jerks.
Yes, of course.
And we called it something else, more adult. And then I got a couple emails, and one of them was like, "Hey man, big fan. I just had to spend, the past 15 minutes after your show explaining to my kid what that meant. And just wanted to let you know that like when we're in the car and I'm taking my kids somewhere and we put the show on, and I'm like, we'll say a circle of jerks all patting each other on the back instead of, the other way to say it.
Self-congratulatory.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
when it comes to comedy, though, you can't let your audience decide how you run your show. So this isn't a comedy show. If it was, take the censors off.
And that I agree with too. Like when it comes to comedy, someone could be like, "Hey man, you can't say that around me because I got kids." Like, it's a comedy show. You shouldn't bring your kids. This is where we get like, unless we're doing children's comedy, like why did the chicken cross the road? Funny joke.
Was.
I wouldn't watch that on YouTube anyway. It'd be creepy and probably against whatever that new law is, that COPA, whatever the heck it was.
Oh yeah, the anti-kids thing.
Yeah, that everybody freaked out about.
I want to talk about. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.